Alright, what's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Occult Review with me, your host, Bellar Wright. And today we got a special episode of the review. This, of course, will be a Dragon Ball Super chapter review for chapter 67. This one called Happy Endings and Then, written by Akira Toriyama with art by Toyotaro. But we all know at this point that Toyotaro is also doing a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to the writing as well. So this one's special for me today because it might be my last one of these for a while. Today's been a really hectic day of packing and cleaning and washing some things. I'll be packing, getting ready to move to a new location. So for me, this is a hectic day. This episode probably won't be nearly as good as my other ones because I'm going to cobble this one together rather quickly because I have to do everything today before I disassemble my computer to move everything. My computer, my entire workspace. So I hope you guys do enjoy this one. I'm going to put my all into it, but again, I have to do all this within a couple of hours because I am moving tomorrow, very early tomorrow at that. So yeah, I'm gonna have fun with this one. This is gonna be the last review for a very long time at the very least. If I do manage to do another one next month, I will be surprised by that. You guys should be surprised by that as well. So let's go ahead and get this started. We do have the chapter opening right where the last one left off after Goku defeated Moro and Goku's friends are running up. In the first panel we have is a really good shot of everybody running towards Goku. I really like that one. The next shot I don't like as much because the Krillin inconsistency is really unnerving throughout Super. Krillin's size is a big sore point for me because they can never really get him right. I think a good size for Krillin is he should probably be about as tall. He should for sure be above Android 18's waist. He should be probably his head should maybe reach the top of his head should probably reach the middle of her midsection, maybe a little bit lower than that. But this Krillin here looks pretty much like a toddler. So I'm not with that. I'm not with the Krillin slander, him being so short. I think he looks fine in the previous panel, but in this panel he looks really weird. But anyway, everybody's happy that Goku is doing well, that he survived, and that he's not too damaged. The next couple of panels I really like. I do always enjoy when they pair Piccolo and Vegeta side by side like this. So this is a really good panel. And of course they're the loners of the group, so they're gonna back off a little bit and let the more outgoing members of the group do their thing. We have another cool panel of everybody at the lookout celebrating. Master Roshi's also celebrating, along with the Yardrats on Yardrat and P-Bara. So I won't go too into details with this one. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of blast through this review. But they say some pretty cool things. Everybody's just talking about the victory. Vegeta lands and he actually asks Goku where that massive ball of energy came from at the last minute, and he assumes that Goku knows where this energy came from. And the thing is, he's probably right about that. It's kind of ambiguous here if Goku knew who this was or not. But the thing is, most likely Goku did know who sent that energy. Goku says, I'm not actually too sure myself. Guess there's still someone else amazing here on Earth. Vegeta doesn't buy it. He knows Goku knows, and Goku just leaves everything vague. He says, I think we'll all find out in due time probably. And that annoys Vegeta. After that, we cut to Oob and the Daikaioshin, and the Daikaioshin thanks Oob. He refers to him as the savior of the universe. Oob doesn't know what the heck Daikaioshin is talking about, but a Daikaioshin is a grinning mess. He's very happy at things, and Oob asks him who he is, but the Daikaioshin just says, think of me as your kin, I suppose. Oob doesn't think they look at all alike, but for me, they at least both have a mohawk, so there's that to unite them. But yeah, other than that, they don't really look too much alike. Daikaioshin has the big pointy ears, and he looks like Kim Jong-un. So yeah, Daikaioshin takes off. Initially, one might think he probably used super speed, but he probably used Kai Kai, the same ability that Supreme Kai has to teleport directly to the lookout. Oob Oob says he flew and then went poof, which yeah, he kind of did do that. He did both actually. And all this happened so fast that Oob wonders, because he's left in his village on this panel, he wonders if it was all a dream, because it's very strange, and this is the first time he's dealt with anything like this, most likely. Though I don't know if King Choppa has started training him or not, but for right now, yeah, this is a pretty strange occurrence. And next we have Dai Kaioshin arriving to the lookout, surprising everyone, Dende included. Dende greets him, and he shows his respect and thanks him for working to save the planet. Instantly, within the span of a panel, Dai Kaioshin transforms back into Majin Buu, and here you can actually see the minute differences between the two characters, such as their ears, and the fact that Dai Kaioshin has eyebrows and pectora, but Buu does not. So the form of the Dai Kaioshin that we've seen, I believe there's a few differences between him and Buu at this point. His boots are different, and of course his facial features are different. I think his belt is different too. But the thing is, he has this vest, which I don't think he had in the older series. I know in the anime he didn't have this vest. He had more of a traditional Kai uniform. It was a little bit different, but it was more traditional than this that he's wearing now. But yeah, he still has the vest. And Hercule is happy to see Buu. And Buu and Hercule, they talk. Hercule was glad that Buu is safe, and Buu is confused about things because he wonders like what Hercule is talking about. Because Buu doesn't know that he was actually taken over by Dai Kaioshin. He says that he was sleeping, so he thought he was sleeping this whole time, and he says that now he's really hungry. And Popo here, he confirms that Buu has no memories of his time as the Great Lord of Lords. At least he ponders this aloud. And Hercule throws a fantastic feast. He says, "I'll have my chef." I'll have my chef whip up a whole smorgasbord, and he invites everybody else to join in the feast. And we get this really neat panel of the entire cast smiling post battle at the thought of a pending celebration. And then we cut to Hercule's estate, which is really nice. And we cut to the cast all celebrating, eating. We see Pan aged up a little bit. We see Goten and Trunks, of course, at the exact same age that they've always been and will always continue to be until we reach the end of Dragon Ball Z at the very least. We have 18 and Krillin and Meron. They're eating. Looks like 18 is eating ramen. Goku was eating I think that was chicken previously. And then we have the humans, the Dragon Ball cast. We have Tien, Yamcha, Puar, and Pilaf. No, sorry, Pilaf and Chaozu wear such a similar hat, but no, this is Chaozu, of course. And then in the next panel we have Roshi, Pilaf, Shu, and Unagame / the turtle. And we get another panel of the Namekians hanging out. Then another panel of the Briefs family. Bulla, I think Vegeta's drinking beer. He's chugging beer. The funny thing about these panels are Goku and Vegeta are actually dressed pretty similarly. They're both wearing the sweatpants and a tank top. Goku's going for a white tank top. Vegeta's going for the black tank top. Vegeta wearing the lighter colored sweatpants. Goku wearing the darker colored sweatpants. So this is talking about fashion here, but it's really interesting how similarly they are dressed right here. And then we get Eska. He's he's bowing to everybody else. He's ready to go home. He's standing next to Goku, and everybody gives him a nice little farewell. It's really cool. I always like the farewell celebrations when it comes to the Dragon Ball franchise. They're always really, it's a nice way to bookend the arc. Well, a nice way to end the arc. And then we have Goku teleporting Eska back to Namek, to his people. And we get a little bit exposition here from the narrator, which says, after saying his goodbyes, Eska returned to the planet Namek. And then we get a shot of Shinran here. The power of the resurrected Dragon Balls restore the planets caught in Moro's wake and revive the beings who'd been killed. Then we cut to planet Zun, and we see that the Pui Pui looking aliens are back, the Zunanites or the Zunins, whatever you want to call them. And then we cut to space, and the narrator says, and so the universe was back to the way it was, except for a certain angel trainee. And then we skip forward a couple of days, and we see Goku and Vegeta and Jacko and Buu traveling with the Galactic Patrol. Interesting here is we don't see the rest of the cast who were also inducted into the Galactic Patrol. So this was an interesting omission by Toyotaro, but it might have just been done to make drawing this a lot easier. So I don't really either way it goes, I don't really it doesn't really bother me that the other characters weren't included. It's just a curiosity one might have. And so Goku's wondering like what the heck's going on with some celery, and he asks for meat instead. But Jacko corrects him. He says ceremony, and they're going to be honoring the heroes here, the Galactic Patrol, with medals for being the crew that showed Moro who's boss. So they're going to be getting rewarded for defeating Moro, who was a potential galaxy-ending threat, universe-ending threat at that. And Goku, he's a bit disappointed. He says, "Doesn't sound like my kind of thing." And Jacko tells him that there's no greater honor and that medals are the mark of the true elite. Goku asks Jacko how many medals he has, and Jacko says, "This will be my first." So of course Jacko, Maris was the one who was highly decorated. Jacko was kind of like Jacko was kind of in the same position that Goku was. There, within the Ginga Patrol, as well as the Saiyan culture, there seemed to be elite status as well as just normal status. So I mean, you can really put that in any sort of societal group. Any sort of group, you'll have your elites, the people who are really good, and you'll have your baseline people. So we get some things here, some panels here of the band playing, and we get these this made me laugh when I first read it, these dutes, because they're playing I don't know instruments very well, but I believe this is a trumpet. I'm not entirely too sure, but I think this is a trumpet. And this reminded me of the meme with the skeleton. You can look this video up on YouTube, the doot skeleton, and I just thought about that. It's not even all that funny, but it always makes me laugh. It's the type of dumb meme that I find a lot of humor in. And then we actually get the medal ceremony. Excuse me. And then we actually get the medal ceremony, and here Goku, Vegeta, Buu, and Jacko are all bestowed medals, along with other Galactic Patrollers. And we have the Galactic Patrol King, or the Ginga Patrol King here, and he is the one bestowing the medals. And the Ginga Patrol King, he offers his tentacle to Goku and thanks him for slaying Moro. Goku grabs the wrong tentacle, not the one that's being offered by the Galactic Patrol King. And Galactic Patrol King says, "You're grabbing my junk on purpose, aren't you?" So this is the second time Goku's grabbed the Galactic Patrol King's lower tentacle. And it is hilarious, but it is completely disgusting. So this is one of the funnier gags of the new era. But it's like, Goku, dude, you need to really quickly identify which one of these is this man's lower tentacle, we'll say. I know he has a bunch of tentacles, but it's probably safe to assume the one he's offering is the one you should be grabbing. But I don't know, Galactic Patrol King could be a pervert, so you never know. And then we get another interesting part where the names of the medal receivers are spoken aloud, and I think The first time, this may be the second time, we find out that Vegeta is the fourth. So Vegeta's last name, he may not have a last name, but he is referred to as Vegeta 4. Because I suppose the Galactic Patrol keeps records of important people throughout the universe. I imagine they would, but it's just funny that Vegeta is referred to as Vegeta 4. Because I don't think Vegeta will let them know that he was the fourth Vegeta, but they have some sort of, most likely they have some sort of, and apologies for any background noise. There's somebody doing some weird stuff with a car outside. Yeah, apparently they have records on royalty throughout the universe, so. Majin Buu tries to eat his medal, and then we get Jacko's name as well. Jacko has a very long name that I tried practicing pronouncing earlier. Is the word pronunciating? Pronunciate. I tried pronunciating earlier. I might mess it up this time. His full name is Jacko Thierry Minton Piboshi. Jacko Thierry Minton Piboshi. That's the best I got. I can't really say that much faster. And Goku asked him why the heck his name is so long, and Jacko, he just says, "Why does it matter?" And then we get a surprise after this. There's another hero to reward, and Goku's like, who else could this be? And Maris is the one announced. And Maris also has a long name, very similar to Jacko, actually. The Boshi part at the end is very similar to Jacko. So I don't know if that's supposed to be I don't know if that means anything. I haven't looked it up yet. So the guy says, Maris, now known as Maris Ikanoichi. I messed that up. Maris Ikanoichiya Boshi. And Goku's like thrown back by it. He's like, what? And behind the rabble, or behind the crowd, I shouldn't call them rabble, behind the crowd of Galactic Patrollers, out steps Maris in his uniform. And Goku's like, whoa. So is Vegeta. Goku and Vegeta are like, whoa. And they go, Maris, it's really you. And Maris says he's glad to see Goku and Vegeta again. And Vegeta doesn't know what's going on. He says, how are you alive? Didn't you cease to exist? Mirroring the audience's very thoughts at this moment. And Maris explains that he did cease to exist, but only as an angel. And then we get a little flashback as to what happened. So a few days prior, Barris and Whis were in front of the Grand Priest. They were summoned. We remember that. But the thing is, even though they knew it was about Maris, the Grand Priest goes ahead and he explains exactly what happened. Exactly why he wants them. Exactly why he summoned them. Barris and Whis come up with excuses. Barris blames Whis, and Whis just blames Maris. He says that I certainly did not expect Maris to violate our angel laws. And Grand Priest ain't having it though. He's like, hey, I was wrong to place him under your care. So he, in his own way, he chastises Whis and says, in his own words, basically, I'm disappointed in you. I expected better of you. Whis apologizes, and Grand Priest gives a very stern face. So this face alone really makes me hope that Grand Priest is our ultimate villain in Dragon Ball Super. I really hope that he is, because this guy can really pull some creepy ass and stern faces without even trying. And just knowing that he's the strongest being in the universe, dude, I really want this guy to get down. What I want to happen with Grand Priest is I want him to be a major villain, right? I want him to do all this ridiculous shit, maybe even kill some people, but then I want it to turn out that he was just messing around, and then he just undoes all of it just to test our heroes, just to test Goku, whoever else, maybe Jiren as well, Vegeta, and whoever else. I want him to do all this stuff just to test him. Just the most detestable stuff we've seen throughout the series. I want that to be ultimately how Super ends. But either that or Goku versus Beerus. I'll be fine with either one of those. But anyway, back to the story. Grand Priest explains that ordinarily Maris would disappear for breaking that sort of law, because that's just an angelic law of the universe. He says that said, he personally eradicated Maris temporarily before resurrecting him as a mortal. So Maris wasn't reincarnated; he was simply resurrected as a mortal. And Grand Priest goes on to explain he now has a lifespan. Which means he has a normal lifespan, the lifespan of a mortal, and his angel powers are gone. He says there was simply no other way to save him. When he says lifespan, that's interesting, because I think that the god of destruction still have somewhat of a lifespan, because Vermod, whatever you want to call him, he's retiring as a god of destruction. But if you don't have a lifespan, and if you don't have any sort of injuries, there really would be no reason to retire as a god of destruction, unless you just really didn't like it. But the fact that Vermouth was retiring just gave me the impression that gods of destruction, even though they live for millions of years, at a certain point, they do have somewhat of a lifespan to where one would retire. But that's the point that they haven't really gone into any detail about. So that's just something to keep in mind, because there's nothing canon about gods of destruction, how they age. But I don't know, stuff's a little bit vague. But between these two statements, I'm not really sure how gods of destruction age. But it appears that angels, at the very least, do not age. And then we get another surprise. Whis asked the Grand Priest what moved him to such mercy, and the Grand Priest says, actually, it was this one who came to me, willing to sacrifice his own life to save Maris's. And Supreme Kai teleports in. So I don't know if the Grand Priest was hiding him, or if the Supreme Kai just was also summoned. He's probably summoned. That makes the most sense. And the Supreme Kai thanks the Grand Priest for considering the matter. Supreme Kai, Beerus questions the Kaioshin, Supreme Kai, whichever you want to call him, on how did he asks him, when did you get here? Supreme Kai just says, it was all I could do, I'm afraid. And Beerus, of course, if Supreme Kai is putting his life on the line, he's also putting Beerus' life on the line. And Beerus chastises him for that. And he reminds him that he and Beerus are two sides of the same coin. But, all's well that ends well would be true for most cases. But in this case, there's been a lot of fuck-ups. Really, they should have been able to prevent Maris from doing what he did. It's not completely their fault, but in the Grand Priest's eyes, they need to be punished. And he decides to impose a penalty on all three individuals. That's Beerus, Whis, and the Supreme Kai. They wonder what the penalty is, and then we see what that penalty is on the next page. This next panel of the guards of Zeno-samas, we see that the guards are resting and relaxing. They are overdue for a vacation, and these guys are pretty ripped. So these guys are a part of the group that are the top 5 strongest in the universe, I believe. These guys are, of course, under the Grand Priest. And we see that the punishment for Supreme Kai and Beerus is to be ridden around by the Zenos as if they are horses, and they're racing each other. And they're doing this so much that it tires out an individual with the stamina of Beerus. We all know how much stamina Beerus has, and he's being tired out by these games. So this must be truly hellacious. If this was anybody else doing this game, they probably would have died by now. If somebody with the power and stamina of Beerus is struggling like this. And it looks like Whis has been spared the punishment overall, so there might be a little bit of favoritism from the Grand Priest. And Grand Priest mentions that he's been meaning to give the attendants some time off. So we get some hijinks. Beerus mentions that it's all Goku's fault, and they go ahead, they ask, Beerus asks Whis what's going on with Goku. So I'll skip the dialogue for this part, because I do want to get this review moving a little bit faster. And we cut to Goku and Beerus embracing each other. It looks like they're having a good time at the Ginga Patrol HQ. And then we get a final photograph of all the Galactic Patrollers, of course minus the Earthlings who didn't attend. And we get a final shot of the Galactic Patrol HQ and some narration. The narrator says, with that, Goku and his friends' time in the Galactic Patrol was over. So that wraps up this this saga of these characters' lives. The symbols on their uniforms will probably be replaced next chapter as the new arc rolls in. And I think they're technically still members of the Galactic Patrol, but this makes it seem like that's going to be revoked, or basically that things are just going to go back to normal. So we'll see going forward. Maybe they'll still be members of the Galactic Patrol, like temporary members or extended members or something like that. And the narrator continues, peace returned to the universe. And then we cut to Jacko messing around. Apparently his peace has returned to the universe, as the narrator said. And Jacko apparently is just loafing off, just lazing around in the office. His excuse why he's using the computer doing a bunch of nothing is that he's on cyber patrol duty, but his superior, the guy with, I don't know if this is hair or if this is just the way his head is colored. It's an interesting looking character design. This guy sees right through Jacko's BS, and he says this looks like an auction site to me. So it's funny that these guys, they also have internet. And this internet is weird. I'm going to tell you guys why it's weird in a few pages. And the guy noticing Jacko just kind of chilling out. He tells Jacko to follow him around. He tells Jacko to follow him around because he wants a little bit of backup doing some stuff. And then Jacko has some excuses. He says that he's about to head back out on patrol, even though he said that he just got back from patrol. And we get these guys going to the Galactic Prison. We see some familiar faces. We actually see some familiar races here. We see a character that looks like a Boo. Looks like something similar to Boo. But he could also be similar to the Universe 6 tournament announcer, because that character also looked kind of like Boo. And Jiren, that character might come back and be the ultimate evil. But we also see a character who looks like he's a part of the same race as Gine. Or not Gine, as Gin, the god of destruction. We see some familiar faces again with the prisoners from previous arc. We see the ladies who did the triple fusion against Krillin and Roshi. Jacko talks to them. They trade some trash talk. We see Yunba. Yumba's questioned by Jacko's superior. Jacko's superior asks about there being a radar detected, some sort of faint distress signal coming from Moro's crater, the crater left by Moro's explosion. And he asks Yumba any idea what that might be. Yumba doesn't know. He asked Quitur, the Metal Man, and since nobody knows, Quitur just replies in the standard Metal Man way. And Jacko's superior, he just writes it off. He says that it's probably just general interference. And Yumba's like, forget all that. Can you guys up my rations? Because apparently he's starved. He's getting regular rations, and apparently he needs way more. For a character that's not getting the amount of food he wants, he is still very hefty. So I don't know how that works out. Maybe he has a weird alien metabolism, or maybe he actually is eating a lot, even still. Jacko tells Yumba that he should be grateful that they didn't get the death penalty. It's really weird that they have the death penalty, or maybe it's not weird. If they do have the death penalty, it's really weird that Moro wasn't given the death penalty. So I don't really understand what this reference is. Anyway, we get the alien that beat the shit out of Krillin, or beat the hell out of Tien and Yamcha. And he's mad because he believes that the Galactic Patrol killed their pals. But Jacko's superior corrects him and says that was Moro who did that. That it was Moro who ate 7-3. That's what Jacko says. And the alien, I forget his name. He had a weird sort of name. He says you can't kill what can't. He says you can't kill what ain't even alive, referring to 7-3. Jacko's superior says destroy it. Then he doesn't really understand what the difference is. And this prisoner, he says 7-3 was just another thing we stole. He was empty at first, but as time went on, we filled him with data and turned him into a powerhouse. So these guys basically took 7-3 from level 1 and leveled him all the way up to level 70. These guys are elite Pokemon trainers. Look out for them. You might want to trade some stuff with them. Hopefully you brought your link cable. And he's pissed off though, because he says that all that hard work is now gone. And Jacko's superior just says, he's that dangerous, huh? I'm glad he got obliterated. We cut to Earth and we see that a bunch of material is doing something very weird. And then we get a shot of 7-3's head. And this material is all being collected by 7-3's head. And in a similar way to both Frieza and Boo, this material is collecting and trying to put itself apart, or trying to put itself together. Unlike Frieza, and more like Boo, it's actually working and it's actually forming into 7-3's head. So 7-3 has what may be a better healing factor than Cell. Then again, Cell said he can come back from a nucleus later on, so maybe it's identical to Cell. And Yumba just tells Jacko, did you make sure he got trashed for good? So these guys know, these prisoners who work with 7-3, they know that if he isn't completely destroyed, he can basically regenerate from whatever's left of him. So they know this about him. And Yumba is very smug about this. He's trying to be scary, and he succeeds actually, because Jacko Superior and Jacko leave to go examine this crater, and it turns out that they do not find anything. But it turns out also that a couple other aliens arrived to the planet and plundered 7-3's head, which we see has mostly recovered, his head alone. So in that span of time that it took them to travel from Ginga Patrol HQ to Earth, 7-3's head has recovered. And they put his head in a jar with recovery liquid, I don't know what it's called, and they hightail it out of there. Meanwhile, Jacko and his superior go shop around Earth, and it turns out that Jacko can use his internet all the way from Ginga Patrol HQ to check out items on Earth, to buy things. But even so, even though he can do that, he instead chooses to buy it in person because it's more expensive to buy things online. So that's pretty funny. Ginga Patrol internet must be really good and also really secure, because apparently Earth sites cannot, Earth sites can't detect they're way out in another part of the galaxy. And then we get the narrator again And we see that a few months has passed since this incident, which was several days after, Goku and them got their medals. And in a far-flung corner of the universe, far from Earth, we get another group of bad guys. I don't know if they're bandits. This guy seems to be some would-be conqueror. He wants to conquer the entire universe. His name is Master Goichi, and it appears that 7-3's data has been copied into some sort of other units. And this Goichi, he praises his subordinate for doing so. And then we discover what the subordinate says to Goichi is that all should now have equivalent abilities. So whatever other units he's mentioning, all of them should have equivalent abilities to what the 7-3 that he captured on Earth had, which is pretty scary, because this 7-3 could still have Moro's backup data, but this 7-3 most likely also still has Gohan and Piccolo's data, and maybe even whatever Moro copied after he absorbed 7-3. So he could have Vegeta's abilities, he could also have Maris's abilities. I'm not sure how that works. He can only hold up to 3 though, so I don't know. If he's still using regeneration, then he has Piccolo's ability for sure. So he might have knocked off like Gohan's ability for Vegeta's and for Maris's, if he still kept anything that Moro absorbed after. So Goichi here says, we never expected OG 73-I to be powered up to this extent. A pleasant payoff for our efforts. So this is not only what he gathered on Earth, this is what he gathered in the employ of the prisoners. I don't know where they got him from, but he was also a prisoner, I believe, unless they just dressed him up that way. A lot of questions with this stuff, but it's really good. It's really good to have all these questions. I had a lot of questions anyway throughout the Moro arc of what the hell 7-3 was and where he came from. How is such an advanced android able to exist independently, and how is it just treated as just a throwaway thing, like, oh, he's just here, he's just a prisoner, and he's just an advanced android. So I'm glad they're going more into it right now. And Goichi's happy that the bandits are gone. He says that Austin lost one Sagambo and his goons stole that one, but it seems that luck is on our side. I don't know why things would have seemed lost if they just took one, because the one was at level 0 and they powered it up themselves, is what they're saying, is what the prisoner said. So I don't know how, because they, as we're gonna see, these guys have a lot of these things left. But he right here he mentions his grand scheme to rule the universe. So this guy he wants to rule the entire freaking universe. This guy wants to oppose Frieza. And if he has a 7-3 model that has the powers of Maris, Maris, Vegeta, and he permanently has Piccolo and Gohan's powers too. If he has all that stuff from Moro that I just listed, this guy can wreck Frieza alone by himself. But also the power of Moro on top of that too. If he has an army of these guys, what the hell? What the hell are they gonna? It's gonna be like Metal Cooler all over again. Just Goku and Vegeta against a bunch of overpowered robots, androids. All right, and we cut to a ship approaching. This ship looks more like a satellite. It looks very, it looks low technology. It looks like an early Dragon Ball technology, but in space. But this ship approaches Goichi's ship, and it locks onto it. And this guy is either talking to himself, or he's talking to a computer, or maybe somebody who's traveling with him. He says, it's that ship, right? Oatmeal being the name of the person he's talking to. And I believe this is the ship's computer, or maybe some sort of AI. And he addresses this traveler. He says, correct, Granola, but do be careful, because there could be many on board. And then we get a full look at this character. He's looking like he's wearing some sort of cybernetic eye, perhaps. Looks like it's some sort of belt tied to like a blue jean pocket, maybe. It's really interesting. It actually reminds me of Vice from Skies of Arcadia. This design of this character. And this character, he docks the ship. It creates a huge, I guess, explosion, maybe. That's what it looks like a few panels later. And yeah, the guards are saying they've been boarded by an intruder. Goichi sends the guards after him. The guards are armed, and they shoot at the guy. And this guy, he's pretty good. He has a gun, a weird gun of his own, and he takes a shot at them, a couple of shots. He stuns them with his gun. They have more advanced looking guns as well. Then we get a full body shot of this character. He looks pretty cool. He actually reminds me quite a lot of Tapion, but he also reminds me of Joker from Dragon Quest Joker. There's a couple other characters this guy looks like. His hair looks like Beelzebub from Sandland, as well as another character from another Toriyama manga that I'm forgetting the name of it. With the character who looks like Beelzebub from Sandland. I think it's called it's not Gentoki, but it's something Toki. I think the character's name is Toki as well. It's a Toriyama manga. And this character is walking through, and Goichi, the leader of all this, he tells his subordinates to activate all the OG soldiers. And we get another panel of this guy's Granola, right? Granola walking through walking through a room full of tubes that have 7-3s in them. If you guys watched Rise of Skywalker, I don't know why you would, but if you guys watched that one, it's kind of like the tubes of Snoke's. It's just a bunch of tubes of 7-3s, and we see like the first thing we see are his feet, his legs and his feet. I guess you can also think of it as like the if you ever played Resident Evil 1 or seen it, it's like the tube where they kept the first tyrant in. The 7-3s break out, and their design is kind of hilarious. They look like kind of like muscle bound babies with leg weights on and wrist weights on, because it looks like they're wearing big ass diapers. But anyway, so there's a bunch of these 7-3s come out. And the intruder, he says, they're finally here. Those I see. And it's a gaggle of 7-3s. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, or 12. I think it's 12. Might have miscounted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's only 11 on this panel. There's 11 7-3s. The intruder, Granola, he asks which one of these is a target. And he asks Oatmeal to run a scan. So apparently Oatmeal is the AI that's in his eye patch. The 7-3s attack him. And now we discover that Granola can use key attacks. He points his gun in a manner similar to a spirit gun, but with 2 fingers instead of 1. The eye patch identifies the approaching 7-3, or the approaching android, as OG-72i. It's not the one they want. Granola uses this key blast in a very accurate manner, and he actually disintegrates the jewel on 7-3's forehead quite effortlessly and takes it out. And he continues on. The eye patch identifies all the approaching 7-3s as the wrong number. We get OG-20, OG-IWI, OG-31, OG-51. None of those are the targets, and he quite accurately, like very surgical. This is probably the most surgical we've ever seen anybody use these sort of finger key blasts in Dragon Ball. He just takes out instantly. He takes out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He takes out 7 enemies with accurate headshots. Accurate headshots, like just like that, like rapid fire, as they're all rushing him down. And once he's done, they all land in a heap behind him. So this guy is really good. He apparently is very strong, because these characters, these 7-3s, as we seen earlier, they have the equivalent abilities. That's at least what the subordinate said and what Goichi said. They have the equivalent abilities of the 7-3 that Gohan and Piccolo fought. The 7-3 we got by the end of the Moro arc. So this guy he could be as strong as Goku and Piccolo, or he could be as strong as Gohan and Piccolo, or he could be even stronger. He could be as strong as Goku is with Ultra Instinct. He could potentially be weaker because maybe 7-3's abilities reverted back to before he fought Goku and Piccolo the second time, but that would still also be very powerful because he still had Piccolo's abilities as well as the abilities of those all the cultures he like absorbed stuff from before that. But we keep going, and he destroys even more 7-3s. He destroys 2 more on his way to the final room of 7-3s. He opens a panel with another well-placed shot to open the door, the final door of the resuscitated 7-3, who now half of his body has regenerated. He fully has an arm. His torso is his upper torso is regenerated. His upper bicep on his right arm is regenerated. His head is completely regenerated, like I said earlier. And he's being guarded by, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 fully formed 7-3s. But our intruder Granola here is only interested in the one in the center, the one who's still regenerating in the tube, because that one is OG 7-3I. And we end the chapter with our intruder Granola smirking at this development. So what an interesting chapter. We got the wind down on the first half of the chapter, which was awesome. And then we end the second half of the chapter with a lot of intrigue, with a new character who might be quite powerful, who is indeed quite powerful, but who might be even stronger than we're thinking he is. He might be ridiculous. So, and this could go anywhere. This, for me, satisfies my curiosity as to what the hell 7-3 is. So I hope they go in that direction to explain what the hell he is. And more than anything, this is definitely a setup to something even greater. 7-3 is going to most likely be used to further this story in a hopefully an interesting way, but a way that, again, since we're at the very beginning of this, whatever this new arc is going to be a way to set up something really intriguing. So, in all honesty, I couldn't wait to get to this chapter 67. And now, even more, I can't wait to get to the next chapter 68. So I hope I do get to actually review that for you guys and get the review up online. But as far as the setup goes, I think this was fantastic. And as far as the ending to the previous arc goes, definitely fantastic. So all in all, this wraps up the Moro arc nicely. An arc that in general is still one of Super's better arcs. But again, a lot of the stuff that happened over the course of that fight between Goku and Moro drugged the arc down quite a bit. So I don't know if it is Super's #1 best arc for me, but it definitely is one of the best, probably at this point. As far as the manga goes, I have to reread the Future Trunks arc, but the best arc in the manga is probably either this or the Future Trunks arc. As far as the anime goes, if I compare this to the Tournament of Power in the anime, I would probably still say the Tournament of Power is a little bit better. As for the Moro arc, so yeah, Moro arc in general, I think overall is, if you compare it to all of Dragon Ball's arcs, it's fairly mediocre since it takes it from all of those. I did find it better than the Majin Buu arc since it includes more of my favorite characters. And I think it had a little bit more going on in general than the Majin Buu arc. I'm talking about the Moro arc specifically. So I think it's better than that, but it's definitely not as good as, say, I don't even think it's as good as the Cell Saga. I don't think it's as good as, say, the Namek or the Saiyan arc or any of the tournaments before that. So, but the start of this new arc, super excited. Hope they go balls to the wall with it. I hope we get a bunch of new villains, new heroes. I hope we get some power-ups for Gohan and Piccolo. And I hope they get involved as well. I hope we see some characters from other universes. I hope the arc has us hopping over to the next universe, and I'm actually hoping for big things from this new character Granola here. His AI, or whoever's talking to him through his eye patch, Oatmeal. So really exciting stuff. So hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Hope you guys are taking care during this pandemic, and thank you guys for getting through the review. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please go ahead and give me a subscribe if you can, and yeah, look forward to it's not going to be very frequent, but look forward to new content on the channel. I'm going to be doing stuff other than Dragon Ball eventually, as I get the channel together. But yeah, in the meantime, just enjoy this review. But please take care, guys. Take care of yourselves and your loved ones. Till next time, everybody. Peace.